Hello everyone, and welcome to the Odinic School of Mysteries. My name is Bear. You've probably been wondering where I've been and what I've been up to, because it's been a while since I've posted or done anything, and I've gotten lots of emails and people saying, hey, come back, do a video, which is really nice. I don't have a high subscriber count, and it's good to know that my community is out there and thinking of me. Well, the short answer is that my dad passed away at the first week of May. Towards the end of April, he had a massive stroke, and on his left side, and like a big one. And then, so there were some questions about whether or not what we should do and what he wanted. And being his legal heir, it fell on me to make the final call on whether or not we needed to wait and see if he would recover, or to let him, or we take him off the life support and let him pass. And it became clear that the quality of life that he would have had if we decided to keep him alive would have been pretty awful. And so, even though it was a family decision, it fell to me to make the final call to let my dad die. And I simply a little thing here, going into this little shaded area. I simply just didn't have the, I don't know what the good word is for it. Maybe the heart for doing videos. And so I haven't. I made a few attempts here and there, but I just didn't have it in me. But here we are. And since I've been away, all the shit kind of hit the fan, it seemed like. The Black Lives Matter and protests. As many of you know, I live in the Portland area, and I live out in the suburbs of Portland. But in downtown Portland, they're still rioting. It's not news anymore, so they kind of moved on. But downtown Portland is still, pulling down statues of founding fathers and all of that. And so I've been seeing all of this, and I've been feeling this growing need to come back and talk about it a little bit. I know everyone seems to have their 2 cents about it, and I don't know what the word is for it. I don't really know how to put it. This isn't doing this, running a YouTube channel and this kind of thing isn't the thing that I love you guys, and it's fun to do this, but it's not really what I want to do. It's not something that I've chosen for myself. It's something that I feel like has been chosen for me. And so by doing this, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And so I'm not really wanting to talk about this very badly. I would rather just go about my business and keep my mouth shut. I'm not sure that that's going to be much of an option anymore. For better or for worse, we're in this now. All of us. And these things are pre-planned, and they're meant to expand. And you say, Bear, how do you know that these things are pre-planned? Well, these things are, things are pre-planned when just after what we call in the occult, we call the season of sacrifice, which is basically from Easter to Beltane. So you have Easter, or I'm sorry, hold on, I got that backwards. It's from Beltane to Easter. So you start off early beginning of spring, and then Beltane is the first week of May. And during that time, on clockwork, is the coronavirus pandemic that happens. Then seamlessly, as soon as that starts to wind down, it clicks over to the next season, which is the season from Easter over into the summer solstice, and we're entering that period now. So we are, everything always goes along with the seasons. These things always go along with the seasons. And the people who you would think would be the first to start talking about this, I'm speaking about like the tearing down of statues and cancel culture and that sort of thing. The people you'd think that would be out there like on top of it, people like Rand Paul and some of these others, Ron Paul and his son Rand and those folks on the conservative side, who are very America First type folks, aren't doing anything. And Trump, love him or hate him, doesn't matter. He's not doing anything either. He says stuff, but so far nothing's happened, right? Why has nothing happened? Why has America allowed an autonomous zone in Seattle? Why hasn't the federal government stepped in to do anything about that? Why are they allowing the destruction of property in American icons? And it's because they're told not to. I think I find my lighter. Hang on, I need to put my thing down here for a second. It's because they were told not to. They were told not to do anything about it, to stop it. Because this, my friends, is all part of the plan. It's all part of the plan. Just today I was listening to the news, and Sean King, again, it doesn't matter if you like him or hate him, they're saying Sean King was off saying that we need to go start tearing down Jesus statues and religious artifacts and that sort of thing. Because racism, like colonialism and that sort of thing. These things are allowed to get heated. It's going to be allowed to get worse. It's going to get allowed to get ugly. And it's going to continue to be provoked until we enter a civil war. And it's not going to be army, standing armies. Like what we had in the American Civil War, which is what everyone thinks of. That type of civil war is actually very rare. It doesn't usually happen that way. And that was largely because the North and the South were already pretty much had their own governing bodies at that point. That doesn't usually happen. Most civil wars are more like what we saw in the Troubles in Ireland. That's more what civil wars look like. Insurgencies. And you have people with guns guarding statues. And that's actually how, a lot of people don't realize this. There was if I'm getting my history right, that's how the American Civil War, the Revolutionary War started. Was kids basically playing pranks with a statue. They would topple it over, and the government would come and set it back up again, and it started to escalate from there. These things always start with iconography, the destruction of iconography. We saw this with ISIS. They did the same thing. The tearing down or the destruction of ancient Sumerian art and the plundering and destruction of museums. So here's the point that I'm making. All right. Here's the point that I need. I've been talking for about 11 minutes now, 12 minutes. And this is the point that I think you need to bear in mind. You'll know people by the fruits that they produce. And it doesn't matter if you're talking about gods or politicians or groups. You have people who will say something that sounds really good. And I don't know, everyone's different, and I don't know where my audience stands on the issue. But you have to look at what people are doing, not what they're saying. What is actually being done? And people get into partisan tribal nonsense. There was I don't know if you've listened to, if my audience knows who J.P. Sears is. He's a comedian, and he got his start really on YouTube, and now he's fairly big nowadays. But he had a community post. I want to learn how to do those, by the way. I don't know how to do those. But he had the quote he said was, the video was essentially about making fun of people who just believe everything that they hear. And the quote was, let's see if I get this right, "I believe that what I hear is what I think." And if you break that down, it's really actually quite profound. It's like, I believe that what I hear is what I think. So you adopt what you hear online as your own thoughts and beliefs on something. And that's exactly what's happening on both sides. People aren't actually looking at what is actually present on the ground. They just fall right in line with whatever their chosen party says. Because where is this going to end up? The dirty little secret is that the Republicans and the Democrats, they're the same party. The money goes to the same people. They attend the same social gatherings. They're friends behind closed doors. The difference is the branding. There's a good example of this. So you have Kroger or General Mills. I believe, if I remember right, there's like five food companies that own almost the entirety of the American food supply. Which means that, in all likelihood, your local organic food vendor is owned by a multinational food conglomerate. And so they will run ads against themselves. Buy organic, it's healthy for you. Or buy Doritos because it's cheaper. And they'll make ads, they'll produce culture around and against their own products. Because you think, oh, that's really dumb. Why are they doing that? Well, they don't care. The food company doesn't care which side you go on. They don't care if you're vegan. They don't care if you are organic or if you like to eat Cheetos. They really don't give a shit. They don't give a shit which food you buy. What they care about is that you buy. It's an ancient it's just an ancient way of mind control. You get people to stand off in their little cliques, and then you can get anyone to do anything. All you have to do is have your local priesthood say something, and then you think you already believe it. It's magic. And I'm not being hyperbolic here, using creative language. It is literally magic. This is what magic is. This is the cult philosophy. It's how you get people to do and say whatever you want them to do to get to the end goal. And what is the end goal? Totalitarianism. It's full and complete government control over everything we do. Yeah. Huh? Yeah. They smoke cheap cigars, and so sometimes it gets a cattywampus. So forgive me here for a second. Dropped it. Yeah. And if you think for a second, that whichever side of the aisle you fall on isn't in on it, I got words to tell you. This thing is going to be allowed to spiral out of control. And then for the interest of the the public safety military is going to be called in. But that's only part of it. Right. So that's the first layer. Okay. That's the first layer. Because they get it really bad. Huge distraction. It's going to be, people are going to be fighting in the streets. The military is going to be called in. All this shit's going down. All that's going down. Hellfire and brimstone, right? But there is an old, I don't know if it's old, but there's a saying. It's kind of the hidden horse of the apocalypse. All right, there's another horse of the apocalypse. And the hidden horse of the apocalypse, his name is distract and amuse. So the old saying goes, his name is distract and amuse, and he rides a golden horse. I got bark dust in my mouth. His name is distract and amuse, and he rides a golden horse. Meaning, keep the ignorant masses busy amongst themselves, fussing over nonsense. I believe someone could quote me or correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm told there's a saying in spycraft called hide the dancing bear. Meaning, create such a ruckus, create so much distraction, so much infighting, that you don't see the thing that is obvious. You're looking everywhere except where you need to be looking. You're so focused. Everyone is so focused on the destruction of statues that we've been talking about. They're so focused on political infighting, whether or not AOC is going to win her re-election campaign. Trump versus Biden. Who's Biden going to pick for his VP? You know, all this kind of stuff. Everyone's so focused on this nonsense that they don't see what's really happening anymore. I got shit in my beard. People don't see what's happening. They're not looking to what's happening in the sky. They're not noticing the evacuation plans that are being set up in California. UN trucks showing up in California. They're not paying attention to all the weird sightings in the sky and the things that are coming down the pipe. The world is about to be changed in ways that you can't even wrap your mind around. In order to control the population, excuse me, I apologize for that. That was kind of gross. I'm sorry. In order to control the population, you get them fussing over nonsense. To keep them busying themselves with things that don't matter. You keep them in fight or flight. You keep them in the lower brain so they can't think properly. You start them off with a worldwide pandemic, telling them that if they leave their house, they're going to kill grandma. You have them cover their faces so that they can't relate to each other anymore. You create racial division, political division. the president tweets and our leaders do nothing and statues are being pulled down, and so everyone is freaking out. No one is thinking. No one is paying attention. And my advice is to keep your eyes to the skies. Look up. Look elsewhere. My cousin, before he passed, he was, or at least so he says, he said that he was military intelligence. Whether or not that's true doesn't matter. But what he is saying is that top brass in military intelligence agencies are all retiring and going to Idaho. Why are they going to Idaho? Because it's high elevation. High elevation. The politicians are starting to kind of just disappear into the woodwork. Where are they, I wonder? Where are all the politicians going? What are they doing? You know? You are not seeing what is actually there. You have taken the attitude, like JP says, that I believe that what I hear is what I think. You believe that what you hear is what you think. Stop worrying about what the spin doctors are saying and look at what they're doing. And I'm going to say this again because I need you to hear me. Someone's taking pictures. Don't listen to what the spin doctors are saying. Look at what they're doing. What's happening in the sky? What's happening around us? What's not being covered? So pay attention. You understand? Think rationally. Get yourself out of the fight or flight mode. And think. All right? Because it's all nonsense. It's all nonsense. All of it's nonsense. It's a trick. It's a trick. So, with that said, I hope you all have a good day. I hope you hear what I'm trying to say. Don't fall for the trick. And be smart about what you believe. And so my last point, I guess, would be this. No one ever asks themselves the question. So this is my last point. I promise. I've got about half an inch of my cigar left. No one ever asks themselves, am I the one who's been deceived? Am I capable of being deceived? No one ever asks themselves that. You never hear a Christian ask themselves that. You never hear an occultist ask themselves that. No one ever asks themselves that question. Am I capable of being tricked into believing something that is false? And to really take that question seriously. Because it's kind of humiliating, isn't it? To think that you could be tricked into believing something that is wrong. That is not humiliating. It's human. You got to use your own eyes. Look with your own eyes. Think with your own mind. Ask good questions. Be willing to be wrong. Something is coming. Something big is coming. And don't go into it with your eyes closed. Take it easy, y'all. Bye-bye.